Greetings, everyone. I'm excited to have David Weissman, CEO and co-founder of Humankind, on the show today. David, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, great to have you here. Appreciate your time. So let's kick this off. Tell us a little bit about your background in SaaS and technology.
Yeah, sure. I've been primarily in e-commerce for the last 23, 24 years. I cut my teeth in the SaaS industry before it really was SaaS. I was with a company called GSI Commerce, which was pre-Shopify, pre-Demandware, Salesforce. We were the largest e-commerce technology and services firm, powering hundreds of brands and retailers, and every single one of GSI's former clients for both technology, fulfillment, call center, but our technology was SaaS, wasn't called that back then. And so I was there for 10 years and had a senior role in customer success. We didn't call it that either. We called it like account management. That's how much I predate all the modern terms. And that company we sold to eBay. And it actually was the predecessor to Fanatics and Kinetic, and Michael Rubin. He was CEO of GSI Commerce and took that and continued on with it. I spent a decent amount of time on the consumer side as well, right, of e-commerce. A couple startups, but most notably, I was hired by Target to help them get more innovative in digital in 2015. It was actually a pretty cool role that they had carved out. They were going to hire entrepreneur operators around their 6 key merchandise categories and unleash us, kind of like an EIR. And I was the guinea pig. I was in the beauty vertical, and they had also acquired a 9-figure business called Derm Store. So they're like, run that and do your thing, mix it up, buy companies, start new ideas, and really encouraged me to help them innovate. And it was at that experience that ultimately I came up with the seed of an idea for Humankind. I actually ended up leaving Target and starting the predecessor to Humankind as a direct-to-consumer business. And that wasn't the game plan, but I figured it out. I was kind of the first client. And so Humankind is somewhat of a pivot to B2B, back to B2B in the vertical that we're in. So I tested it out and learned it and iterated with my own brand and my own sandbox, and then took all those learnings and pivoted to Humankind, not technically pivoted, just for the record, but on my journey. And that was amazingly powerful for the early success that we're having.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, amazing experience there, in the e-com and then Target and retail. So tell us about Humankind. What does Humankind do?
Sure. Humankind is a concierge personal shopper experience digitally, and primarily with the communication through SMS, through text message. So the way we look at the world is e-commerce is a do-it-yourself shopping activity, right? And I've been part of the industry for a long time. We build these websites, we give them to consumers. We're like, here you go, Ben, it's all there, go figure it out, leave me alone. And that doesn't always work for consumers. Sometimes they need help. They might not know the vertical all that well. They're busy. There's actually a data point that's been around for a while that it takes a consumer 7 visits to an e-commerce site before they buy. It's a lot of work. And so what we enable is that beautiful in-store personal shopper experience, probably like you would get at Nordstrom. And we enable that online in a really lightweight, easy fashion for consumers, where they can text a brand advisor, expert, and have that relationship, and the advisor will virtually run around the store and put together recommendations of what you should buy. And it all happens really beautifully between the web and SMS. And so our platform handles the entirety of that experience for both consumers, but more importantly, the salespeople on the brand side. We help them do this consistently, delightfully, and most importantly, scalably, because humans don't scale all that well, but we figured out the right bespoke platform, the right combination of real humans and under the hood technology to assist that human to build this into a really beautiful customer experience where customers are thrilled and the KPIs are through the roof.
So tell us, I want to nail this use case. So say busy executive, got some trips coming up, wants some new clothes. So would they come onto the platform and then they're hooked up with this advisor? And then is the advisor part of, say, Nordstrom's, or just this independent advisor who helps them?
Yeah, so I'll give you a client of ours, Saucony, the running
Hmm.
shoe. So you might be on their website poking around, looking at shoes. You'll see, and this is up to the brand, this new sales channel. You'll see a promotion for it, a link, unsure what to buy, text with a running expert and let us help you figure it out. So it'll pique your interest as you're showing intent. You'll start there. You'll start with a quiz. You'll fill out some information. What kind of runner? Are you a trail runner or whatnot? At the end of that funnel online, you'll enter your phone number, and then the relationship between one of Saucony's sales advisors, running advisors, will text you on your phone and start a short text-based consultation to get to know you, maybe unpack your data in the quiz. You might have gotten it wrong, maybe because you're not a running expert or whatnot, and really get to know what your needs are. At the end of that short text-based consultation, the sales advisor says, okay, Ben, I got it. I know what you're looking for. I'm going to go offline for a few minutes and I'm going to assemble some really thoughtful recommendations for you. This is all, the sales advisor is never on their phone. They're always using the Humankind platform. And using the Humankind platform, they'll assemble a custom landing page for you with your recommendations, with content on why the different options might be the ones you want. Now you'll get that by text and email, so you can open it up on different devices. Now, the beauty of the text relationship is the line is always hot. There's no hanging up. So that relationship can continue two directions. And so if you have more questions about your landing page, a lot of times what people want is, oh, now can you add more? I love this experience. And so the sales advisor can add more items, or at any moment, you can take those items on your custom landing page. I want the first one, the third one, the fourth one. Hit add to cart. It'll sweep them all into the Saucony e-commerce cart, the normal checkout, and you can buy from there. Now, what's really cool about it is for most e-commerce journeys, that's the end of the journey. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. But the way we built the platform, the capabilities, the customer experience, the technology, and leveraging the fact, right, SMS, the line is always hot. There's really no hanging up, is we don't look at that as the end of the journey. We look at that as the beginning of the relationship and extending that relationship post-purchase, obviously, hopefully stretching the LTVs. The brand voice is the holy grail in retail. And that is unprecedented in any other form of shopping, to have that kind of intimate connectivity. And that's really what's exciting, that powers the end-to-end experience, and hopefully stretching the LTVs is really the honey in the hive.
Yeah, really interesting. So is your technology then embedded in Saucony's site? So I go to Saucony's site and then I see that pop up to engage with that advisor.
Yeah, it's lightweight. It's a CTA. It's an overlay. You would never know that you're hitting our servers or their servers, but it's intentionally a very lightweight implementation, and customer experience should make it easier for brands to get live and get going and seeing metrics right away. Yeah, but for paradigm sense, you're spot on.
Yeah. So I assume Saucony gets a lot of web traffic. So what's the engagement? So is that available to every single shopper who comes to their site, and they have that option to engage with the Saucony advisor then?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I mean, where we're seeing amazing results is we're taking ordinary shoppers and supercharging them into loyalists, because I think we'd all agree that loyalty is at its highest when you have great experiences. And this is a great experience every single time. And so we're turning ordinary customers into top decile loyalists, and they spend more, they buy more often. So even though you have to spend money and invest time and energy into these users, it pays off and grows.
I love that. Is that a tagline? Take ordinary shoppers, turn them into brand loyalists. I love that. That's it.
I don't know. I'll have to talk to my head of marketing.
Yeah.
I use it a lot, but if it hits your funny bone, then maybe we should.
Yeah, that did.
Hurry up and trademark it.
Yeah. So let's talk some stats. So what year did you found Humankind?
Yeah, so the company was founded in early 2021. We're part of the High Alpha Studio network. I partnered with High Alpha, which is a venture studio, to take the learnings that I had from my predecessor, which was a direct-to-consumer business that I was running, and turned it into a B2B platform. And I chose to go with High Alpha because they're an accelerant much more than an accelerator or an incubator. They really get into the weeds of the business and provide real sweat equity into this to help you get out of the gate faster. So we started in 2021 and we launched our first client, I want to say July of 2021. So pretty quickly we built a platform and got out into market pretty quickly.
Okay, that's great. So founded early 2021, first client around July 2021. And where were you primarily located then?
Yeah, well, I'm based in Los Angeles, and right in the middle of the pandemic, started this company, and I had thought I would just build the company in Los Angeles, and realized that the world had very quickly changed. So after our first few hires, we realized that the market was going to dictate that we would be remote, and so now we're a remote company. So we've got employees all over the world, actually, right now. So
yeah. Yeah, and that's the common theme with the founders I'm talking to is it started kind of virtual and just staying virtual and remote. So
yeah.
So tell us about your team size. How many employees, staff do you have?
Yeah, so we just reached 17 right now. Heavily weighted towards engineering and product. I want to say we probably have 10 in that area. With the latest capital raise, we brought on a head of sales, head of marketing. So we're really leaning into go-to-market, which had been mostly on my shoulders for the first year and change. So we're hitting that next stage, that seed level stage, right? What is it? Pre-seed is build it, seed is nail it, and then eventually we get to A is scale it. So we're in that nail it phase right now.
Yeah, that's great. So 17 employees. And so yeah, tell us, you mentioned go-to-market motion, head of sales, head of marketing, tell us about your go-to-market motion. Is it that outbound sales motion, content, SEO? Tell us how you're acquiring customers.
Yeah. So initially it was tapping into my network, right? I've been in e-commerce for 23 years. I hadn't sold anybody. I've been on the consumer side for the last bunch of years. So it wasn't so much personal relationships I had, it was personal relationships that I had with someone who had with a brand. And so I really leveraged my network to get warm intros to different brands and retailers, really looking to mine initially those innovators, those who are leaning in to wanting to try new experiences. Now, serendipitously, the trends in the market really gave us and are still giving us massive tailwinds, right? iOS 14 has really changed acquisition marketing for brands, right? It's obviously we're seeing Facebook, I think, laid off 11,000 people today. And so brands are looking at their existing traffic and customer base and looking to mine them, higher conversions, higher average order value, higher LTVs. That plays well with our strength. And so we had a lot of tailwinds, and because we're easy to implement, that was something I was very keen on making part of our product, having been a buyer of technology for a long time. It's pretty lightweight to get going and pretty easy to get going. And so we were looking for folks who are fast movers, more innovative companies. And you'd be surprised, I would say 3-4 years ago, you wouldn't get big brands would never hit that list. And I think because the cost of technology's come down, and I think the innovation for SaaS in general, and I think you're probably seeing this across all industries, you're getting big brands are getting more innovative. So, we have Unilever, our first clients, Unilever, Olaplex, Saucony is part of Wolverine Worldwide, TaylorMade Golf. And I would say 4 years ago, you'd probably have a really hard time trying to get them to lean into something new like this.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's great. So you recently announced it was a seed round 4.2 raise. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And so tell us, so it sounds like now deploying some of that capital to your go-to-market motion, sales, marketing, hiring some folks. What did you see as triggers, milestones that said, hey, we're ready to raise this and deploy this?
Yeah, we got early traction and real ARR right out of the gate by signing some of those clients. We did not give away the platform for free. Part of that was strategic. Part of it was there was decent launch costs until we built out a more repeatable launch process. And candidly, we just started that way and we didn't have to give it away for free. And so we were signing 12-month deals, with 5-figure ARR right out of the ACV right out of the gate. And so that was a pretty powerful narrative to go to market to raise money, how quickly we'd come out of the gate. And keep in mind, and just to be fair, like I kind of was the first client for 3 years. And so I had done this for myself, which was everything to our success because it was my brand and my sandbox. And so I could iterate. And if I had to do that with a brand like Unilever, hey, try this, try this, they wouldn't go for it. So I got a lot of that out of the way and I really figured it out. And so that was a propellant for us to come out of the gate. And that's part of our success also with signing clients, but also getting out of the gate and getting amazing KPIs right away. So it was a pretty powerful narrative to bring to the market. If you look at the real history of Humankind and how we got here.
Okay, so ARR out of the gate, which is great. So tell us about your pricing model. Is this kind of a usage number of advisors engaged? Tell us how the pricing works.
Yeah, so simply it's a platform fee, it's a license fee, a monthly subscription, depending on the size of the business and how much usage we expect of the platform. And then as they grow and use the platform more, because we're a sales channel, it means they're driving more revenues. And so we take a very tiny performance-based fee as they grow. Like the first tier is free, it's part of the platform fee. And as they grow, we take a small percentage of sales as a win-win way to grow together. We didn't want to do it on number of seats because the platform is intended to help all our clients can be profitable doing this. And so we don't want to have our interests misaligned, like, add more seats, because what we're building in is a lot of technology to make each seat more efficient and more profitable. That's our North Star. So we didn't do it that way. We didn't do it on number of text messages because we're super passionate about the end customer experience. That is, I'm super passionate, maybe too sensitive about it sometimes, but if it's 100 messages back and forth or 20, I don't care. I want them to be incentivized to give a great experience. And so we didn't want to financially penalize that way. So the model's pretty clean, and it's High Alpha helped a lot strategically, and I think we got it mostly right. I'm sure we'll tweak it a little bit on the way. We have a little bit, but it seems to be resonating, and it's pretty clear. We can draw a very easy P&L to show our clients what profitability looks like, and it's pretty easy to hit profitability.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. So platform fee plus a performance-based fee once they get past that free tier makes sense. And then raising the 4.2, what lessons did you learn along that fundraising route that you can share with founders listening today?
Yeah, some of the obvious things are is to lean on warm intros, is really from other CEOs and co-founders. If you have that network, that's the best way to get in with the right motion. Is probably one of the more profound. The other thing is, and I'm curious to your opinion, but this is an open debate, is I've had some friends tell me only talk to partners, never talk to partners, maybe principals, never talk to associates. And it's not a snooty thing. It's just, what's the line? If you're not anybody below a partner, they can't say yes, but they can say no. So that's an interesting debate. And I'm not sure I'm there yet. And it's not an elitist thing. It's just sometimes the job security of and my brother's a VC, so I had this debate with him the other day, and he didn't agree with me. So he's like, "Don't do that," because associates can be very influential. But you can sometimes, the conversations are different and expedited when you have a more senior contact. I wish I wish VCs would give more credence maybe to the associates, because I'm not an elitist and I want to support everybody in their career, but it does feel kind of that way.
Yeah, well, like, yeah, same debate with the outbound sales motion, right? Do you work your way up the title rank to get to that decision maker, or
Yeah.
do you try to hit the decision maker first? Yeah, so yeah,
Yeah.
debates both ways. And so at your stage, right, probably, founded in 2021, raised the seed as you were pitching investors, probably not too much data yet, maybe get, early traction. Was it about the story, the vision, the addressable market, what you're trying to solve? What was that big selling point that investors could latch on to, because you're still pretty early on?
Yeah. For those that understood e-commerce and really understood it intimately, that was powerful, right? Because um, the challenges that e-commerce businesses are having, and knowing that, and knowing how important customer experience and LTVs are to them, those are the easier conversations. Those that didn't know it as well applied more of a SaaS lens to it. Um, I mean, it's funny, there's real data out there that consumers hate bots. And you know it, and it's like you get violently shaking heads that consumer hate bots, but some investors that were very technologically focused would argue me on it, that, oh, you're too much of a human, you need to be automated. And that made me chuckle, because I had spoken to probably 50, 100 brands by then, and they probably had spoken to none.
Mm-hmm.
And the irony of applying a, VC technology lens without the intimacy of knowing the vertical, pointed that wasn't the right VC for me. But also, if you can find folks that have the intimacy with your vertical, you can shortcut a lot, and you don't have to sell on the core ideas hard and try to convince someone that people want to talk to real humans and don't like bots. So that was one of the learnings is if you can find the right match. Now, it's not so easy, because depending on your vertical, they might, you may be talking to generalists, they may have a brand in it, and you might have the wrong partner. But the more research you can do to try and pinpoint, this is what I've done in sales. My go-to-market is the same as VC is. I would find a fund that I thought had similar businesses, non-competitive. I literally research who was the partner who was on those businesses. Okay, go to LinkedIn. Who do I know? Who do I know? And try to network my way in to get that person. And I had success doing that. And so it's a lot more work to do that, but I think you'll pay off if you can find the right person.
Yeah, definitely a common theme with founders is finding those investors who truly understand your space, not just, hey, I get SaaS, I get technology, but yeah, your niche within that technology space. So common theme. So as we wrap up today, David, what's next for your company? What's coming up that's exciting for Humankind?
Yeah, sorry, I do want to tell you a little bit of a funny
Sure.
story on that thread.
Yeah.
Is my lead investor is a fund called Strand Equity. They are all consumer. And I went to them with my sales hat on and to pitch them, because they have brands, and they started asking me about the business, and then invited me into their office and ultimately said, hey, we've been investing only in consumer, but we see B2B and SaaS, obviously better margins, passing us by. We want in. And so it was serendipitous that I came out of it, selling a equity fund, a small growth equity fund, to try and get access to their clients, and they became my lead investor, and it's a great relationship. So anyhow, you never know where it can come from. But sorry. So
yeah, no,
your
yeah,
question
appreciate
again.
that. Yeah, that's a really interesting angle that they're like pivoting, seeing that growth in SaaS. So yeah, so tell us, yeah, what's upcoming and next and exciting for Humankind?
Yeah, we're in the nail it phase, right? Or and so the sort of the North Stars are obviously growth, go gobble up the demand that we're seeing in the marketplace, while at the same time readying the platform for that demand. So I had mentioned earlier that the initial launches, right, were kind of manual, and now we're moving to a place where they're no code and they can be done without engineering effort in many cases. And so we're readying our platform for that while we're getting our sales and marketing motion going, and the pipeline's starting to fill up. So it should crest nicely together at the same time. And we're having great success with our early clients and renewals, because obviously that's a huge part of the narrative of nailing it. You sign these early clients. Are they doubling down? Are they adding additional brands? Are you growing the ACV? Are you renewing them? And so we're having success there. So we're having a good streak right now, and focused, I think, in the right areas of getting all those pieces in place. I think the next 60 days is really about getting ready for scale, because with sales and marketing and bringing in those leads, you could get to a place where you could drown. And I don't want to spend too much money on just excessive headcount to keep it all flowing. I want to have a happy medium of having the platform ready for that growth.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. That's exciting. So really appreciate you sharing your story, your background. And if listeners want to learn more about your company online, where should I send them?
Yeah, sure. The URL's gethumankind.com. It's probably the best place. We're revamping it a little bit like everything else we're doing, but yeah, that's the best place to find out some information and reach out from there.
All right, sounds good. So take a look at what David's doing at gethumankind.com. And David, really appreciate your time and sharing your story.
Awesome. Thanks for having me today, Ben.